Ready?
Oh, yes.
Are we ready?
It's my house, come on, turn it up.
Hello and welcome to Cheapskate Recipes. I'm Alan Lowe, and today we are going to be making sushi. Now, I love going out to eat and having sushi for dinner, but sometimes I'm on a little bit of a budget, but I still want that good quality sushi at home. So today, I'm gonna teach you how to make that. First step, in order to make really good sushi, it starts with the rice. So I have right here a good quality sushi rice. Now if you're on a budget, any ordinary rice will do. I would recommend you look for maybe a shorter grain rice. The longer grain rice has a little bit of a different texture and flavor, and it won't be as good as some of the shorter grain rices. So just look for a good quality short grain rice that's within your budget. Or if your budget is really restrictive, just get the long grain rice that's super cheap in the grocery store. Go ahead. So I have 2 cups of rice here. So the first step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse this rice out. All right, so first thing to rinse the rice, I just usually will fill a bowl up with a little bit of cold water, and I'll just kind of wash the rice out, you know? And just kind of get some of that starchiness off the outside of the rice. Okay, once it's washed real good, then you'll just kind of pour it into your strainer here, and then go through and rinse off all that stuff that we just washed off. Just give it a quick, thorough rinse. All right, so once the water runs clear through your rice, it's done and rinsed. So we can go ahead and dump that into our rice cooker here. Sorry about that loud banging noise. My cameraman's freaking out because I'm making too much noise.
Camera woman!
So you go ahead and put that 2 cups of rice in the rice cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, go ahead and look in the description box below for instructions on how you can cook this on your stovetop using just an ordinary pan. So the next ingredient is 2 teaspoons of either sake, or if you don't have any sake at home, you can go ahead and use 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and put in 2 cups of water, cold water. Okay, so in there we put about 2 cups of cold water. And then the other ingredient to help make this flavorful is we take a sheet of seaweed paper, toasted seaweed wrap, and we cut off about 1.5 inches square. I'm not very good with measurements, so I'm just going to guesstimate about 1.5 inches square there. And we'll cut that off and we'll put that right on top. Now we're gonna let this rice sit for 30 minutes before we cook it. So in about 30 minutes, we'll come back and we'll turn this on. The rice has been sitting, resting for about 30 minutes. So now we're gonna go ahead and turn on the rice cooker, or if you're doing it on stovetop, this is when you would turn on the heat. So now that the rice cooker is going, we're gonna go ahead and make the flavoring element of the rice. This is how the sushi rice gets its flavor. So in a saucepan, I'm gonna go ahead and put in 1/3 of a cup of rice vinegar. Then I have 2 2/3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 2/3 teaspoons of salt right in that pan. Now we're just going to go ahead and heat this up on like a medium heat until all of these granules dissolve into that vinegar. All right, so we went ahead and turned it on about medium heat. So we're just gonna slowly heat this vinegar up while we're stirring this until the sugar and the salt dissolves. All right, now that all the granules of the sugar and the salt have dissolved, we're gonna go ahead and turn this off, and we'll set the pan aside. And we're gonna go ahead and wait until the rice is done cooking before we mix the two together. So our rice finished cooking about 5 minutes ago. I usually leave it sitting on the keep warm for about 5 minutes just to help develop some flavors and to finish out the cooking cycle. I'm gonna take this little piece of seaweed that we put in there. We're just gonna take that out. We don't need that piece in there. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this rice right into my bowl. You wanna use a wooden spoon for this. And just kind of dump that in there. And if your rice cooker is like mine, it burns the last bottom part of the rice, so just be careful not to pull that part out. We don't want any burnt pieces in there. Set the rest of that aside. Then we have our flavored vinegar mixture, and we're just gonna go ahead and pour that in and stir that together. And we just kind of stir that up to flavor that rice. Now this is an important part. So after you flavor the rice and you got a good flavor in there, we want to cool that off. But if we put this directly in the fridge, it would create some kind of weird texture with that rice. So you have two options. You can leave this on the counter, maybe in a cool area. If it's a cool day, you could set it on the windowsill with the window open and let the cool air penetrate it, and you can stir it frequently to kind of help cool it off in the center. Or if you have a little tabletop fan, or you have a great big huge stand fan you can put behind you, you can go ahead and turn that fan on, and you can cool it off with this fan while you're stirring it. You just gently stir that rice and cool it off. Once that rice is completely cool, or at least it's not hot anymore, it's kind of like a room temperature, you can go ahead and cover it up and put it in the refrigerator. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep stirring this while it cools off. And then once it's done, I'll put that in the refrigerator. And in a few hours tonight, we're going to go ahead and roll some sushi. Now we're ready to make our sushi. Our rice has been cooled and it's been sitting in the fridge. While we were away, I went ahead and diced up some crab. So you can either get some good quality lump crab meat if you live near the ocean and it's cheap enough, or if you are landlocked like a lot of America is, you can go ahead and just buy some imitation crab. You dice it up or throw it in your food processor. I have about a pound of crab meat here mixed with about a tablespoon of mayo, a little bit of unagi sauce, or you can use soy sauce to kind of flavor it up, and just mix that up. And then we're gonna do some traditional California rolls. So I have some avocados that I sliced up and some cucumbers. All right, so the first step, we take our little sushi roll mat, right? These are a pain to clean. So I highly recommend you take some plastic wrap and we wrap this sushi roll or sushi mat. Fighting with the plastic wrap here. Let's just go ahead and throw that piece away. Okay. So we have that. Let's get a good piece of plastic wrap and we'll do once this way. Wrap that together. And then we'll do once the other way. So now that that's wrapped up and it's ready to go, so I'm going to roll with the flat side down. So on some mats they'll be rounded all the way around. On this particular mat you'll notice that one side is flat and one side is rounded. I like to use the flat side because it just rolls better for me. So today I'm actually using some half sheets. If this is your first time rolling, I recommend you buy the full sheet so you have a little bit more to work with. The half sheets require quite a bit less stuffing, and it requires you to roll a little bit tighter, so they're a little bit more difficult. So now that I have my seaweed wrap right there on the bottom there, I dip my fingers in a little bit of cold water before I handle my sushi rice so the rice doesn't stick to my fingers as bad. Then I'll just take a little bit of rice and I'll set it on my wrap here, like so. And then I'll begin to kind of press down and spread it out. When I first was rolling sushi, I spent forever matting down my rice and I would just try to make it perfect. And then I learned over time that you really just don't need to make it perfect. Just kind of spread it out real good and call it a day, right? Now, I'm gonna be a little fancy, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of sesame seeds on my sushi, and I'm wrapping rice side out today. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and then I'm going to put all my filling in here. So I'm going to start out with a couple of slices of avocado, like so. And I'm going to take my cucumber and line it across there. That looks good. Then I'll take my crab mixture, and I'll go ahead and just throw that inside there. Now I'm ready to roll. So I'll take this And the first time you do this, it's a little tricky. So you fold it over like that. You want to tuck it in, okay? And then you roll again like that. The whole time kind of pulling back every time you roll, okay? And then once you have it rolled up, you'll notice that, mine's a little bit lopsided. So to straighten it out, you can kind of roll, make a nice round, kind of press it round if you would like. Or if you want it square, you can kind of square it up or however you want it rolled. You'll notice that I still have a little bit of a bump there. That's okay. This isn't professional. We don't care. So now you have that rolled up. Now you need to cut it. So I recommend you have a super, super, super sharp knife. If your knife isn't sharp, then it's going to be really difficult to cut up this sushi roll. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half first. You'll notice my knife isn't super sharp, it's just kind of sharp. And then I'll fold it in half now that I cut it in half. So this is kind of a quick way to cut them. And then I'm going to cut them into thirds from here. So cut it there, and then I'll cut it there, and I'll set it on my plate. And I'm going to go ahead and keep rolling all my rolls to finish up my sushi roll. I hope you enjoyed, and just remember, whenever you're making sushi, be creative. Put whatever you want in it. If you like shrimp, put shrimp. If you like lobster, put lobster. If you want to go crazy and make something that's not traditional sushi, throw some steak in. I mean, really, it's up to your creativity, and you can make whatever you would like. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and leave any comments you have below, and let me know what else you want me to cook. I'm Alan Lowe, and this is Cheapskate Recipes, signing out till next time.